Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k16 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. We are 1 week away from Survivor Series, and this is the final episode of Main Event and Smackdown before the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and it's going to be a big one indeed as we finalize the match card for Survivor Series. Of course, you can check out the website BrendenPlayz.com to view the entire match card over there. This week of Main Event, we have the Usos in action against the Social Outcasts. Social Outcast been doing pretty good in the last couple of months, but just in the last few weeks, just starting to cool off a little bit. Can they bounce back this week? Tyson Kidd in action against Rhino as well. Natalya goes one-on-one with Tamina. And of course, in our main event this week, we have, well, Kalisto in a very tough one against the big man, Braun Strowman, as he tries to, I guess, prove his worth. A lot of these superstars trying to prove their worth to earn themselves a save from the draft and keep themselves on SmackDown and Raw. As the Usos get a victory, Rhino gets a win as well. Natalya versus Tamina. It's Natalya getting the victory, and Braun versus Kalisto. Well, can the underdog do it? No, he can't. Braun Strowman, too big, too strong. Alrighty, so here we go. This week on SmackDown, we have the New Day in action against the World Tag Team Champions, The Miz and Tyler Breeze, the A-listers, as The Miz prepares for his last man standing match against Damien Sandow, which will take place on the pre-show of Survivor Series, which will take place 30 minutes before the pay-per-view begins. Paige, she'll be going one-on-one against Emma as she prepares for the big tag team match. Sandow has a match against Fandango this week as he prepares for The Miz. Big Show up against Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan, of course, in his corner. We also have a big matchup this week as our champions team up. Sheamus and Kevin Owens team up to take on the challengers, Daniel Bryan and Neville. In our main event, we saw him debut last week. He eliminated Bray Wyatt. Now Wyatt wants some revenge. Bray Wyatt believes he was the one who deserves to be the representative of SmackDown. He'll take on Samoa Joe tonight. The A-listers, the tag champs, get a victory over the New Day. Emma gets a victory over Paige, so perhaps Emma might be a great selection for Charlotte at Survivor Series. A great victory there for her. Sandow versus Fandango. Sandow gets a much-needed victory. His contract, his career's on the line at Survivor Series, has momentum heading in. Big Show gets a win over Luke Harper as well, and we'll play our tag team match. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Intercontinental Champion, Sheamus, who'll be teaming up with the World Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Owens. Sheamus has a match with Neville at Survivor Series, which will be very tough the Celtic Warrior, his first title defense since winning the championship, and he'll be taking on the man that gravity forgot. There he is, our champion Sheamus, a big task ahead. Neville's been very impressive in the last few months, but Sheamus, certainly the last 3 or 4 weeks, he has just taken on, well, this new aggression, new aggressive side of him. He is just dominating, and ever since Hell in a Cell, he took out Neville, he's just been on this mean streak and has been on a roll ever since. He's now the champion, and let's be honest, he's on fire. Neville has really got his work cut out for him, and it's going to be very tough to take that title away. This man, well, he's been on a roll since WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, still your world champion. Many of you are pretty much excited to see the day that Kevin Owens will lose the title. And I gotta say, it may come soon. It's no secret, Kevin Owens currently struggling with a few injuries, just some nagging injuries that he's had. Obviously, competing in Hell in a Cell recently didn't help, but obviously, he's been champion since WrestleMania. He's faced the very best of the best. His body is just starting to wear on him a little bit. He's just struggling just a touch in the last couple of months, and many say Kevin Owens will have to be at his very, very best to win at Survivor Series because his body is just letting him down a little bit. Tonight, competes in tag team action. Hopefully, he can get through unscathed as he prepares for this man, Daniel Bryan, who is yet to win the World Championship here in Universe Mode at Survivor Series. Looks to try and do so. Would love to become a world champion to seal the deal on what has been a very bumpy road in his Universe Mode run. Ups and downs, highs and lows to say the least, but a victory and a world title will certainly put the icing on the cake. And he can forget all about his highs and lows and his misery that he's had to overcome. Well, here comes his tag partner who's had a bit of a rough time the last couple of weeks himself, Neville. Big opportunity here tonight for Neville to seal the deal and get a victory for him heading in towards Survivor Series, get some momentum that he needs desperately. He's had a bit of a rough time. Obviously, Sheamus has gotten the better of him not once but twice, and also a couple of attacks as well. And look, Neville, he's very, very good, we know that, but Sheamus beating him up at Hell in a Cell, beating him up after he tried to take the save and help out Fandango. That didn't help out at all. And obviously, as well as that, the situation he's had with Sheamus, winning the championship. So it's been very, very tough going for Neville. But Neville is a fighter, and he is ready to fight. And as is Sheamus at Survivor Series, that will mean it is going to be one very interesting matchup. No doubt about that. So guys, if you aren't aware, Survivor Series will be coming away this weekend. Yes, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also about 7 p.m. UK time. Unfortunately, if you're Australian like me, yes, I am Australian. You guys don't know what I am, but I am Australian. It will be very early in the morning, about 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that. But it's going to be early, and look, it will be available to watch afterwards, as always, on YouTube. But it will also be live when it does go on the air, not only on Twitch, but also on YouTube. So 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the time where you can find that out. If you're not sure when it's going to be on for your time zone, there is a countdown on the website, and you can try and calculate there. But obviously, keep an eye out on Saturday. Check in with what time it will be on for you. And of course, if you aren't quite fully sure of the entire match card, it is available on the website, BrendenPlayz.com. Right-hand side of the page, it will have the Survivor Series poster. Click on it, it'll take you to Survivor Series. If you are on mobile, scroll down and you'll find the poster down the bottom of the page. And we also updated the website as well. I know some of you guys have been struggling to kind of navigate the site a little bit. I know it's a little bit more difficult on mobile. I made things a little easier in terms of finding some things like the roster pages and such. So check that out if you haven't kind of checked it out before. If you're not quite sure who's on what roster, it's a good time to check it out. Obviously, with the Survivor Series draft coming up in Survivor Series, that will completely change. The rosters will change, and we will have new superstars coming to SmackDown and Raw. Of course, each brand will have 3 picks, and we did an article on BrendenPlayz earlier this week discussing Monday Night Raw's lead. So for SmackDown, this is a big important show. Raw currently has a pretty healthy lead over SmackDown. It's not huge, it's certainly gettable for SmackDown to chase down, but it's going to be tough to do. If SmackDown can chase it down, it will mean that they will earn an extra draft pick. They're not far away. I think it's about 1,000 viewers they are behind for this month. It's not much at all. So if you want to support SmackDown, you can do so. They are very, very close to victory. And if they get this win, they will get an extra draft pick for their brand. And also, if Samoa Joe can beat Rusev, we'll talk about this match later on, he can beat Rusev at Survivor Series, they will have 2 extra picks, meaning they have 5 picks, and Raw only has 3. Obviously, the SmackDown roster will be getting very, very good if that's the case. They'll have a lot of picks to their disposal, and they will be having a great roster indeed. And Raw, well, they've had a bit of a firm grip on the ratings battle, but their roster has been up and down, and it will just keep on getting worse if they can't find a way to somehow, if they can't win the ratings, they need to ensure that Rusev can get a win to make it 4 picks apiece. Sheamus right there in there now with Neville, the man he faces at Survivor Series one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship. And he'll drop the knee right there on Neville as well. Kevin Owens will be meeting Daniel Bryan and The Undertaker. Obviously, The Undertaker right now dealing with a suspension. As far as we know, he's not here tonight. We thought a couple weeks ago when he showed up, he wasn't going to be there, but of course he did show up. Undertaker was suspended after having a backstage altercation with our SmackDown General Manager Edge. Undertaker putting his hands around the throat of Edge and basically demanding that he wanted a title shot, and Edge had really no choice but to grant him a title shot. Otherwise, well, he would have been seriously hurt. So Undertaker got what he wanted, but in the meantime, Edge wanted to make sure that Undertaker did not interrupt and interfere suspending him until Survivor Series. Didn't quite work, but we know he's not going to be here tonight. He prepares for Survivor Series, which means we'll have a fair altercation here tonight with Owens and Bryan, as Daniel Bryan's about to enter this matchup, get his hands on Kevin Owens early on. They met a couple of weeks ago, and Kevin Owens was able to pick up the victory over Daniel Bryan. And Bryan might be doubting himself a little bit here, obviously cashing in Money in the Bank at Hell in a Cell. He had it won. He was going to become the world champion finally, but The Undertaker cost him the championship, and Bryan is still absolutely livid and furious at The Undertaker, but also he wants that world championship so badly. So he's had to not only keep one eye on The Undertaker, but one eye on Kevin Owens. It's been a tough time for Bryan, as Kevin Owens not happy to really stay in there for long. He's going to bring Sheamus in, and who can forget the rivalry these two men had earlier this year. These two men had a hell of a rivalry, and they battled back and forth, and both men got victories over one another. They get to renew that here tonight on SmackDown, but it's not going to last for long, as Neville will get his chance at Sheamus. And Neville would love to pin Sheamus just days away from Survivor Series. It would give him a lot of confidence heading in, and really the belief that he could beat Sheamus, and that's something that Neville, I think, desperately needs. He's just been lacking a bit of confidence, and victory will certainly do him some good. And flies off the second now, corkscrewing with the elbow there, connecting onto Sheamus, and now Sheamus with the back body drop, able to fight back. And Sheamus has just had the ability to really just outpower and outmuscle Neville, as there's a white noise, and that bro kick has been absolutely deadly as well. It's been able to beat Neville and also keep him down and out whenever he connects, as the white noise unable to pick up the 3 count, but gets a near for the count of 2. And Sheamus with a right hand there to Neville as well, and a kick to the back. And Sheamus perhaps thinking about a tag. No, I think he wants more. He wants more of Neville. He's not done yet. Neville getting back to his feet. Sheamus, he's thinking about something big, is he? Yes! The bro kick, good night. No, Daniel Bryan gets there. Kevin Owens couldn't get there in time. And now Owens coming after Bryan to the outside, is he? Those two might be about to lock horns just before the pay-per-view. Right now, Sheamus after Neville as well. Owens and Bryan, we can't get you a view of it, but they're battling each other outside. Sheamus has Neville right in the middle of the ring. A chance now to capitalize. Big clothesline in the corner. And Neville just struggling a little bit here. Sheamus in control. Can Neville fight his way back? The bro kick basically knocking him into a new universe. He's been struggling ever since. And a Hurricane Rana. This might be the beginning of a comeback for Neville. Or has the damage of the bro kick been too much? Owens and Bryan still going up to one another. Look out, powerbomb! Thunderous powerbomb there by Sheamus. This might just be it. No, kick out of 2. And finally, Owens and Bryan have done fighting. And oh, wait, maybe not. Bryan back on the apron. Owens rolling to the outside. Might be heading back to his corner. I'm not sure. No, Owens and Bryan still coming after one another. They don't really care about what's going on in the ring. They just want to beat the hell out of each other before the pay-per-view. Sheamus with the Irish Curse backbreaker. Owens with the Samoan drop there to Daniel Bryan. Sheamus now to put Neville away. Still some fight in Neville, just barely. Owens sliding back in the ring. Bryan, he doesn't know where the hell he is. Headbutt there by Sheamus. Owens still wants more of Bryan. And this is just the beginning. These two will battle each other at the pay-per-view, and it's going to be even worse. The Undertaker's going to be in there as well. Right now, another bro kick there by Sheamus. Good night. That's it. Lights out. Owens grabs Bryan. Daniel Bryan's not going to break this one up. And Sheamus with a second bro kick. And flattens Neville. Picks up the victory tonight in tag team action. The champion, well, he's got the momentum heading in. Neville's in some trouble. He can't quite beat that bro kick. Once it connects, it is all over. If Sheamus can find it again at Survivor Series, that will be it. Well, a huge win tonight for Kevin Owens, who knocks off Bryan. Sheamus defeats Neville. And so our two champions, well, they have a bit more confidence heading in, I would say. Obviously, Owens has to deal with the dead man as well. But Sheamus, he has just got Neville's number right now. And if you're Neville, you are you are worried. Let's be honest. He has not been able to get any momentum going against Sheamus. He's not been able to really get much offense in at all. Sheamus at every twist and turn just continues to take down Neville. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments below, I would love to know your opinions. Can Neville defeat Sheamus? I tell you what, I can't see it happening, but we'll see. Neville's a tough customer. We know that. He's one of the very best here on SmackDown. He's in a bit of a lean patch. Can he bounce back and finally knock off the Celtic Warrior? As Owens and Sheamus celebrate a great victory here tonight, can they keep their momentum going? We'll find out at Survivor Series. Owens, he defends the world title. Sheamus defends the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series. Time for our main event here tonight on SmackDown, and it is the newest member of the SmackDown roster, Samoa Joe. He is here again to compete in his first singles match on the brand. Joe made a surprise debut last week when SmackDown GM Edge announced his brand new signing. He couldn't help himself, he had to spoil the surprise, and Samoa Joe entered the Battle Royal and won. And now we know Joe will battle Rusev at Survivor Series. And what a match this is going to be. Two big men clashing, and the winner will earn their brand one more draft pick. And geez, the draft picks are so important. And I can tell you what, Edge, he'll be pretty confident knowing that Joe will represent his brand, but I'm sure he would have been pretty confident if it was this man as well, Bray Wyatt, who has a bit of a bone to pick with Samoa Joe. From what we know right now, Bray Wyatt isn't exactly thrilled that Samoa Joe took his spot. Bray Wyatt believes that he deserved to be representing SmackDown. He wanted this opportunity not only to represent SmackDown and give back to the brand, but also prove that he can be a major star here on the brand. He's a little frustrated with himself that he couldn't get it done last week. In fact, his Wyatt family member Braun Strowman went all the way to the final, and unfortunately for Strowman, couldn't get it done, and Samoa Joe eliminated him to win the match. Bray Wyatt was eliminated by Samoa Joe as well, so Wyatt out for a bit of revenge here tonight. Bray Wyatt, if he can beat Samoa Joe, it will certainly derail Samoa Joe just before Survivor Series, and that's exactly what Edge probably does not want. For Edge's sake, this is a bit of a risky move to put his new man in such a high-profile match, but also might be a good move to kind of shake some of the cobwebs off Joe and get him ready for the big match situation. Straight away, Wyatt coming after Joe, clotheslining him down, and what a start by the leader of the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt. Wyatt wants revenge, he wants his win, and Joe is standing in his way. Bray Wyatt, arguably touted to be one of the major stars of the future for SmackDown, but Samoa Joe coming here could certainly take his opportunities away from Bray, and I can bet you right now Bray Wyatt isn't exactly thrilled to see Samoa Joe here on SmackDown. What an acquisition it was for SmackDown, who were definitely needing a big name signing after Raw got AJ Styles. Edge, there was a lot of pressure on him to get a big name to come here to SmackDown. He certainly got one in Samoa Joe. If AJ Styles was the pinnacle, I think that Samoa Joe was certainly the next best thing. And to be honest, I think Samoa Joe might even be a bigger signing for SmackDown in the long run. I think Joe's going to be a tremendous star, and he can certainly begin his journey to being a star here on SmackDown by getting a win against Rusev at Survivor Series. And that's not going to be easy. Rusev, a former United States champion, and Joe's got to get through this match here tonight with Wyatt. Oh, Bray Wyatt picking up Joe and tossing him down. Look out, here comes Bray with an elbow. Did he get all of it? I'm not exactly sure, but he's going to try and pin Samoa Joe regardless. Here's the cover. Joe will kick out at 2. So I suppose Edge, his thinking behind this is to give Joe a big match before the pay-per-view. Obviously, a Survivor Series match with such high stakes on the line. Edge will be a little bit nervous that Joe might not be ready, might not be mentally prepared for such a situation, despite being a veteran of many, many years, but obviously has never competed in a crowd of that size and nearly pressure of that magnitude. It's not just, he's not just competing for himself, he's competing for the entire brand. And if he loses, well, the entire brand are going to be out to get him. He's to blame. It's his fault that the brand will suffer and won't get that extra pick. And for Joe's sake, if he loses, he better hope that SmackDown wins the ratings battle. Otherwise, 3 picks for SmackDown, 5 picks for Raw will certainly make it even more difficult for SmackDown to come back after their recent woes in the ratings battles. Bray Wyatt couldn't get the 3 count there. Joe successfully kicking out, but takes down Bray in the process. So lots of pressure on Joe. So a battle here tonight against Bray Wyatt, one of the top stars here on SmackDown, will certainly help remove some of the pressure and just kind of ease him into a big matchup of that nature. So it's a risky move by Edge, but it could pay off. A victory here for Joe will give him the confidence and the momentum he needs to beat Rusev at Survivor Series. There's a suplex there by Bray Wyatt as well. Joe is down. Bray trying to beat Joe right here. Could do it. Look out. No. A kick out at 2. Joe trying to get back to his feet. Bray Wyatt with an attempted uppercut. Missing. And now Joe from behind. Look out. Another suplex coming. This time it's the Bray Wyatt. Bray, a couple times. He's won the Intercontinental Championship. Yet to win the big one. We know he's very talented. We know he's good. We know he's got the Wyatt family in his back pocket as well. We know how dangerous he is. But for some reason, he hasn't been able to take that next step. Obviously, with a man like Kevin Owens having the championship around his waist, it's so difficult right now. But with a lot of rumors and a lot of talk going on about Kevin Owens right now with some injuries we mentioned earlier on, there's an opportunity for someone like Bray Wyatt as running and slamming himself onto Samoa Joe. Chance now to put Joe away. Could be it. Jeez, that was late. But only a 2 count. Just going to clear that up. I was going to say there's a chance for Bray Wyatt to potentially move up. There's room for him there. If Kevin Owens, for whatever reason, struggles in the next few weeks, can't quite retain the title, maybe slides down the ladder a bit, maybe an injury occurs, Bray Wyatt can easily step into that fold, and that's a huge opportunity for Bray. He knows that, and he knows he's got to start winning these big matches. He knows he has to start beating the likes of Samoa Joe to get ahead of him. Otherwise, he's going to continue to do what's been happening to him for the last couple of months. Someone else comes along and gets ahead of him, beats Bray, and takes 1 step above him, and Bray Wyatt just keeps on sliding further and further down. Bray Wyatt needs to turn things around for him as a gut wrench into the suplex there, and that's well executed there by Bray Wyatt. And oh boy, we know what's coming next. Bray Wyatt in the corner. Here comes the creepy walk, which can only mean one thing is coming now. Bray Wyatt wants Joe up, and he wants him up to deliver this. Sister Abigail. Samoa Joe is gonna lose this big match here tonight. No, Joe gets the shoulders up and powers out at 2. A huge kick out for Joe and keeps this match alive. Jeez, Bray Wyatt, he probably felt as though he had him, but this is still early days in this one. Joe hasn't really been put away as of yet, and Bray Wyatt knows that. Samoa Joe has to try and get himself going here. He's got himself wrapped up in the corner in the meantime, and that's not a good place to be. And that boot right to the face of Joe, as you can see, taking him down. Bray Wyatt in complete control, but can he convert this control into a win? That's what Bray Wyatt has struggled to do in the past against some of the high-profile names. Bray now trying to win, can't quite do it yet. A kick out at 2, Samoa Joe back to his feet. Bray Wyatt now has a hold of Joe. Bray Wyatt picks up Joe and slams him down. And this is a real test for Samoa Joe. You want to talk about a similar opponent to Rusev, similar sized opponent. That is certainly Bray Wyatt. The aggressive nature of Bray Wyatt is quite similar to Rusev as well. Bray Wyatt is dangerous, as is Rusev, and Edge knows what Rusev can do. And Edge has, I think, picked a great opponent for Samoa Joe here tonight. And now Joe, look out, could clutch. Yes, from behind. And he's got it locked in, wrapped up. And now Bray Wyatt, will he tap out? Joe trying to make Bray Wyatt pass out. Maybe losing some of the grip, couldn't quite convert it into the victory, couldn't make Bray pass out or tap out. But now he wants to try and pin him. But Bray Wyatt kicks out again. The count of 2 keeps this one alive. Samoa Joe can't believe it. He thought maybe that was going to be a victory there. But he's going to have to go back to the drawing board here and try and find something else to beat Bray Wyatt. Snapman now by Bray takes down Joe. But Joe with an elbow countering back. Bray Wyatt in some trouble. Joe's got him up on the shoulders and spins him around and plants him down as well. Bray Wyatt near the ropes. That might help him. Joe not really looking to... Well, he's going to go for the cover now. A little bit late. Hooks the right leg, though. Keeps Bray away from the ropes. Not going to get him the win. But we are going to take a quick break here on SmackDown. We'll be back right after this. The Miz battles his former tag team partner Damien Sandow, as Damien Sandow's career is on the line. If he wins, he earns a contract and will re-sign with SmackDown. If he loses, that will be it. Raw does not want him, SmackDown doesn't want him if he can't win. It's do or die for Sandow, a must-win match. It's last man standing, Sandow versus The Miz. It will be our Survivor Series pre-show match. Do not miss it. We're back here on SmackDown. This match is spilled out to the outside of the ring. And right now, Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe battling each other out here. The referee counting. Joe with a clothesline takes down Bray Wyatt. Folds it up with a knee as well. In the break, it was back and forth between the two. But right now, as you can see, Samoa Joe in control. Breaks the count. Keep this one alive. Doesn't want a count-out victory. He would love a decisive victory, Samoa Joe. He needs that decisive win to give him the confidence heading into Survivor Series. Joe now from behind, picks up Bray and slams him right near the signage board there, and Bray Wyatt taken out. Joe just continuing to battle away and beat down Bray. This is what Joe can do. He can beat you down, he can beat you up. Bray Wyatt finding that out very, very quickly. Didn't take too long for Joe to really get back in the groove here and really show us what he can do. And he had a tremendous time in NXT without winning the championship. He was very dominant, very aggressive, and very, very good. And now he's trying to bounce back and win the big one here on SmackDown. What he failed to do in NXT. A Samoa drop there by Joe. Bray's down. Another elbow there by Joe as well. Bray Wyatt hasn't really got much offense in lately. He's struggling here. Joe might be really getting close to victory. Continues to break the count up. Now he might be looking for a count-out victory. The count continues to grow and grow. Count of 8 now. Bray's got to get in there. He realizes now he's back in. Joe and Bray back and forth with the kick. Snapman now by Bray Wyatt. Bray's just going to try and slow things down and get himself going again. He knows that. But Joe's going to just continue the offense. Keep the pressure on. Don't let Bray Wyatt work his way back into it. Joe, if he can set up for that muscle buster right here, this could get him a victory. Look out. Joe coming with an elbow. And there's a big kick to the side of the face of the enziguri. Bray Wyatt taken out. Could even be knocked out after that kick. Bray Wyatt is down. Joe thinks he might have him. The count now. Joe, can he win this match? No, not quite yet. Near fall, the counter to Samoa Joe, wondering what he has to do next to win this. It might have to be the Muscle Buster Joe. He might need to try and find that. Bray Wyatt holding on for dear life here. Wraps up Joe in with the knee into the gut as well. Bray Wyatt trying to pick up Joe by the throat. He does so and plants him down in the meantime. And now Bray Wyatt heads to the outside. Looking for a bit of a breather, a bit of a time to regroup here. And he looks a little frustrated with himself. Not sure what's going on here. Samoa Joe's going to come out here and meet him to the outside. And these two men are going to go at it again. Bray now, German suplex. And Bray Wyatt hits the suplex on Joe. And Bray Wyatt, where's he going? Bray Wyatt, he was frustrated a moment ago, and he looks as though he's heading up the ramp. Samoa Joe, he's following him as he should, but I don't think Bray Wyatt wants anything to do with this match. Joe realizes the count continues to grow. Bray Wyatt, I don't know what is going on with Bray Wyatt, but he is frustrated with himself right now. Doesn't want Joe to win via pinfall. Maybe he senses that the beginning of the end is coming. Joe's going to win this by countout. Samoa Joe's happy with the win. Bray Wyatt will take the countout loss. And Joe picks up the victory. Not the way he would have wanted, but a win is a win. And a countout victory just before Survivor Series. A pretty impressive performance. Not the dominant performance that he was looking for. In a bit of trouble early on, but he hit back nicely after the ad break. And Joe. Wow, there you go. A bit of a signal there. A bit of a message for Bray Wyatt. And uh-oh. Bray Wyatt. What's going on here? And oh! Well, this was Bray Wyatt's plan all along. Oh my God! What about a kick to the head by Eric Rowan? Samoa Joe just floored. Now Rowan, the full Nelson up with a slam as well. Well, this is Wyatt's plan. The count out loss, he doesn't care. It was about the ambush. Joe didn't see it coming. Now Harper with that clothesline, almost taking Joe's head off. The Wyatt family send a message to Samoa Joe. Bray Wyatt isn't done with him yet. The Wyatts, are they back to their best? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us for the episode of WWE 2k16 Universe Mode. If you did enjoy it, please remember to leave a like on this episode. Remember, Survivor Series this Saturday, 2 PM Eastern Standard Time. Keep an eye on the website for more. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Subscribe to see Survivor Series and much, much more coming up soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next video.